Dunlop Clarinets. Okay, so this week we're back on page 12, Performance Spotlight. If you remember, I asked you, hey, number 52, take one of those lines, the tone builder or the rhythm etude or the chorale, and play that for your instructor. And today we're going to do two songs. And these are a little bit more in depth, so we're just going to stick to two for this week. So the first one is Lee. And some of you, if someone in your family is excited and they come around the corner and they say, you're playing Elvis Presley, this is a melody that's been around for a couple hundred years. It's actually a folk melody for Lee, an American kind of folk song also. But Elvis Presley wrote a song using this melody generally that was called Love Me Tender. And so somebody in your house might recognize a bit of this melody is that. Okay, so Lee has an A line and a B line. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to play the A line, which is the main melody line. And then I got a little bit of fun for you. My daughter Leah is going to play with us today, and she's going to play the B line along with us and kind of create a duet atmosphere that we can play with. We'll actually be a trio, the three of us together. So let's take a look at the A line. And as we're playing through, there are some dynamics underneath, but I think for this week, just concentrate on the notes and the note values. So we're going to go all the way across that first A line. It says andante, which is slow, like a walking kind of speed. And we get to the end of the first line and we're not finished. So then our eyes have got to jump down to the second A line. So be careful that you don't jump down to the B line. You want to jump down to the second A line and play that out all the way to the end. Remember that the little bird's eye, the rounded top with the dot, is called a fermata or a hold. And we'll just hold that out for maybe about 5 beats or so at the end. Okay, if we had a conductor would cut us off. So we've got a total of 2 lines. Make sense? Okay, so let's try this together. We're going to play the A line, which is the main melody line. 1, 2, ready, begin. So now I'm going to be back in just a second, and Leah and I and you are going to create a trio. So you and I are going to play the A line, and Leah is going to play the B line with us. We'll be right back. Okay, Dunlop Clarinets, we're back. This is my daughter Leah, and we are going to play together. And if you have a friend who plays the flute, notice the way that we're sitting here. So Leah's going to put her instrument up. And it's always good if we're going to play together, we're going to share a stand here. Notice she's playing she's sitting on my right side so that her flute can kind of extend out. Otherwise, it'd be kind of comical if we change places, because this part of her flute would be sticking in my face, this side of my face. So we play together a lot, so we just kind of naturally go to this position. But down the road when you're playing with your friends, as just a little tidbit to use. Okay, so now we're going to do Orly, and we're going to play it as a duet. So I'm going to give you the 1, 2, 3, 4 like I always do. We'll breathe together on beat 4. And as we play slowly, you may notice that Leah and I sometimes will take breaths at different places. That's called stagger breathing. And we work together as musicians to try to keep the sound kind of lush and that there's not big breaks in it. Kind of like if we were singing the national anthem and we went, oh, oh, say, can you see? Everybody would giggle because they go, that's not very musical. That sounds really weird. So as musicians, we can now work together, and we can work together in our band to not all breathe at the same time, which makes things sound a lot fuller. So you may notice that we're doing that together. And from time to time, you'll probably notice that we kind of move a little bit together as musicians. That kind of keeps us together. So as you get older and, you know, you go to contest or you take a duet to competition when you're in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, you can do that. It's a lot of fun. You know, you'll kind of work that out sometimes with your partners that you're playing with. Maybe one person will kind of make a little bit of a gesture, and that kind of holds you together without a conductor. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Nice and steady, about the same tempo that we did when it was just you and I. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 beats, and we'll breathe together as musicians on beat 4, and then you and I are going to play the A line, and Leah is going to play the B line for us. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, breathe, 4. That was fun, wasn't it? Did you enjoy that? I did. So that is the wonderfulness of duet playing. That was really slow. And if you found yourself running out of breath, especially in the whole notes, know that at that slow tempo, we could feel it too. We could feel it too. So sometimes if we run out of air in a whole note, we might just let go of it. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. You know, just take a breath or wait a beat and come right back in on the next beat. What we never want to do is just like say, so whole note, we can't hold it out for 4. So we hold it for 3 and we just keep going. Then our partner is left with, where are you and what happened to beat 4 in that measure, right? So it's okay if you kind of run out of breath. Know that as time goes on and the more that you play, you're going to have better breath support. Okay, so we're going to move on now to number 54, Frere Jacques. So what we're going to do is, first time, we're going to play this all together, all of us. We're going to play it together. We're going to start at the circle number 1, and we're going to play it all the way through to the end. And we won't take the repeat right now, okay? So just one time through. All right, so here we go. Remember, now we are 2/4 time, but it's not a big deal. because a quarter note still gets a beat, half note gets 2 beats. We know what to do with this, right? Okay, so here we go. First note is a C for us. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, breathe. Okay, so for this week, we're just going to skip the repeat. I know it's there, but for time and to do something a little bit more with this, we're going to just skip the repeat. Okay, so as we were playing through with this, you might have noticed that when we got to the second line of music and we got to the 8th notes, I'm kind of encouraging you to play your 8th notes kind of short and play full instead of da, 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 which would be very musical and fine. But at the process that you are right now and you're learning, sometimes when we have to change fingerings rather quickly, it is nice to just be able to play what we call a nice staccato, a nice shortening of the note. We're not speeding it up, but we're just giving ourselves a little more time in between notes. As you get older, you won't need to do that. So actually, when we were playing, if you went back and listened, you might notice that Leah played her 8th notes full value. She played them in the correct time, da, da, and she switched over to my style because we've been playing together for a long time. She started playing the flute when she was your age. So we just kind of switched up our style there, and it is a good trick to use when you're first playing and you need to get some speed, especially on 8th notes, is to just kind of shorten the notes a little bit. We don't want to do it all the time because then it would get kind of unmusical, okay? But for today, it's okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play it in round. And in round, if you've sung in round, which I think you have, you know that one group in your class might start with the Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. And then when you guys went to the Do-Re-Vous, the other group would come in with the Frère Jacques. It's like everybody's doing the same thing, but they're just starting at different times. So what we're going to do for the fun of it is, I think it's really fun to not be the leader. So we're going to let Leah be the leader this time. And what we will simply do is we will follow in our music with our eyes, the first 4 measures. And as she is about to come in and continue at circle 2, we come in at circle 1. When she gets to the end then, we're going to still be playing. We won't have finished. We will still have 4 measures because we waited 4 measures in the beginning till we started it. And so we will play 4 measures out past her at the end. So it's how you get the layering in of people and the layering out of people. And one type of music that uses this all the time is African music, especially African drumming. And then there's also some steel pan, things like that from the islands, Trinidad and in that area. If you've ever vacationed down there, they will oftentimes add voices in that way and sort of take away voices at the end of a song that way till there's maybe just one person playing at the end. Okay, so 54, Frère Jacques, we're going to do this in round. So Leah's going to lead, and when she gets to number 2, we will start at number 1. was fun, wasn't it? I love playing in round. So that is Frere Jacques. You can do this with a lot of different songs, but they do have to be specially written to play in round. Not every song will sound so nice. The notes have to be set up so that they harmonize with each other and they sound pretty together. So when someone actually composes something that is meant to be played in round, they're very careful about which notes they select and they put down on paper. Okay? All right. So Arlie and Frere Jacques record that, and I hope you have a great week and play back with us as many times as you want. It'd be awesome if you were here in our kitchen that we could all play together, and hopefully one day soon we will be just that. All right. Have a great week, and we'll see you back next week.